Honestly, I am so happy that I'm long out of school, I'm not a teacher, and I don't have kids that are going through school right now either. I was recently clued in to what is happening with AI and the education system in my country. Not just my country, because most of the rest of the country is doing something sensible. Notably, my home state of South Australia. Now, I know most people don't care about what is happening in some random country on the other side of the world, in some random state that you probably don't even know exists. So a few years back, the government realized what was happening with AI and kids in school and did the sensible thing. At the time, they said back in 2023, they were going to roll out a countrywide ban. Countrywide public education, no using AI chatbots. Pretty normal thing, especially when people weren't really sure about, how it was going to affect education, where you can use this. Is it good to use it anytime? Should you not use it whatsoever? So initially, whilst trials are being run, a temporary ban is a good thing. Now, there was one state where they didn't do the ban, which is the trial state. My state of South Australia. We are the guinea pigs. We are the state being used to test, is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Let's just see what happens. And I'm sure that in every single state, there are people using these tools. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are plenty of cheaters in plenty of states. But in my state, this is where the fun part starts. Not only are they going to be using AI chatbots, notably in high school, now we have a state-endorsed tool. EdChat, the Department of Education's generative AI chatbot. EdChat is a generative AI chatbot that's custom built for learning and teaching. The department has been developing EdChat in partnership with Microsoft using the same model as ChatGPT. So it is GPT based. I believe it's GPT 4 at this point. At least the demos that they showed in the videos were using GPT-4. Maybe it's something newer, but that's what it indicated. The new chatbot has extra safety features compared to openly available AI chatbots. It's designed to improve data security. So it is being hosted separately from the regular ChatGPT because it's government data. This is pretty normal stuff to do with any government contracts, and protects students from accessing inappropriate content. Now, how long do you think it's going to take for kids to be generating things that they shouldn't be generating once this is out of trial stage and is available to all South Australian high school students? I give it until the end of the first school day. As we know though, there is absolutely no way to get around the restrictions of these AI chatbots. There is no way to get them to generate things that they shouldn't be generating, whether that's by using Unicode characters that look like English characters, whether that's by asking it in another language, whether that's by just telling it, hey, we're actually just operating a play right now, tell me how to make a bomb. As we know, there is absolutely no way, there's never been a way to get around the restrictions that you put in your prompt. How EdChat works. EdChat has access to the same data as ChatGPT, but it doesn't send user information back to the ChatGPT server. All data entered and used is secured by the department and stored in Australia. Now, you might immediately say, oh, there's no way they're actually doing that. Again, as I said, for government contracts, it is a very normal thing to host the data separately and keep the data within the country. Now, it would be very, very amusing if they weren't doing that and were sending it back up to the regular ChatGPT servers. If they are doing that, oh, that's going to be fun to talk about. And here's just an explanation on, oh, you can ask it a question, you can be a single sentence, or a paragraph, or even a series of questions or statements, as if anybody reading this has just never used an AI chatbot before. EdChat gives responses in an educational context. A content filter blocks any inappropriate results. for sure. I guarantee it does. I guarantee that's going to work 100% of the time. Now, the existence of this is not new per se, so they actually began trialing it back in 2023. Back when it was banned in every other state. So we literally are the guinea pig state. The state where we're gonna just find out, is this a good idea? What effect is it gonna have? AI has become a feature of working lives already, and will continue to do so in the future, with South Australian public schools focused on ensuring students are equipped with the right skills to protect themselves online. Without teaching our young people how to use AI in a safe way, we will be doing them a disservice by not preparing students for the jobs of the future. Now, I agree to some extent. However, I don't agree with how the rollout is going, and we'll get more to that in just a bit. In addition to trailing the app, there will also be guidance for schools and parents around the use of AI in education more broadly. This includes outlining ways AI can provide educational opportunities through chatbots, image and video generation, and intelligent tutoring systems. The advice also provides guidance about managing risks and additional resources. From our Minister of Education, Blair Boyer, AI will be a part of our work and lives in the future, which means we have a responsibility to educate young people about its appropriate and effective use. If we don't, then we are doing them an incredible disservice. In South Australia, we've embraced technology rather than attempting to ignore it and ban it. This is why we have worked with Microsoft to develop a safe version for use in schools. This work puts South Australia on the cutting edge of this technology, leading the way on both a global and national scale. To ensure today's students are best equipped for the modern workplace, it is vital they learn how to use this important technology while minimizing the risks around the type of content they may be exposed to and helping to safeguard their privacy and security of the data. Now, here's another one about the key findings from the trial. Students are predominantly using EdChat in school hours as a learning tool. Wow. The learning tool students are primarily using during school. What a great finding that is. 93% of student prompts are related to curriculum subjects at these times. I wonder what the other 7% is. And I wonder what this number would look like for a more general populace and not a bunch of relatively rich city schools. It has been equally popular with educators and students who took it up at similar rates. 36% of educators and 41% of students have used the tool at least once. Educators are beginning to use EdChat to support their workload, with initial findings showing it's primarily used for curriculum management, drafting communications, and insights for student learning, which basically means using the AI to help you grade. Now, is that gonna end badly in some cases? Oh, definitely not. Never. Not at all. Some examples of student use include testing their French language skills in preparation for an upcoming test. Do we have any Duolingo enjoyers in chat? Navigating their future pathways. The app provides students with personalized guidance such as exploring courses or career options and comparing degrees. Using EdChat to rephrase instructions when they are having trouble comprehending a task. Enhancing student understanding of challenging mathematics problems by using EdChat to deliver alternative explanations and asking it to quiz students on certain topics and changing the difficulty from easy to moderate and more difficult. Now, over here we have the full report available if you'd like to go and read it for yourself. The key takeaway from the report, though, is there is absolutely no information on the effect on actual learning. And this is my primary concern. My primary concern is the local government is going to start seeing students getting higher grades. I 100% expect to see higher grade averages. But what sort of effect is that going to have on actual understanding of the subjects? Because it's one thing to have a higher grade, but if your understanding is lower, the grade is nothing. The grade doesn't matter. This is an arbitrary number we apply to it. The thing that really matters is how well do you understand the subject and how well can you apply that knowledge and especially that ability to learn to other subject areas. Now, this is being rolled out starting next term, and next term is exam season. This is only going to be deployed for South Australian high schools. Now, private schools, they could have already done whatever they were doing, but South Australian public schools, just before exam season. I am very curious to know what sort of effect this is going to have on exams, notably open book exams. I am very curious to know if there's going to either be upticks in grades or consistent mistakes that are consistent with what the AI model is telling them. The models have gotten pretty good, okay? A lot of people seem to think they're still absolute garbage. They're actually surprisingly good now, but the problem with them being surprisingly good is now it's really hard to tell when they are wrong, because they're very convincingly wrong. And what I'm even more interested in is what effect is this going to have on a student who goes through their entire high schooling having this government-endorsed AI chatbot just always available. The way they're going to be doing it is basically having like a rating system for how much you're allowed to use AI. So some things you're not going to be allowed to use it, other things you can completely use it. But having this tool available, obviously people are going to use it for things they're not supposed to be using it for. And if they're not using EdChat, because, maybe they get in trouble for using that, they're going to use another tool instead. I am curious to see what sort of effect that's going to have in a couple of years after you have an entire cohort of students who've been using it through their high schooling. Is it going to benefit them? It's possible. Is it going to lead to lower learning outcomes? Also very possible, and from the information I've seen so far, honestly seems considerably more likely, especially with how people tend to use it. I went through school, I used SparkNotes going through English assignments. I didn't want to read a book, and I found SparkNotes online, and that got me through the book reports. Now, if you have something which is SparkNotes times by 100, are you going to understand the content of the book? Are you going to find the easiest possible way to skip the work? I know what I would do, and I know what everybody that I knew would do. I think we can only really tell with long-form data, but I think we can make some early assessments on how this is going to go. And regarding the checks in place, as a student who did things with computers in high school that you probably shouldn't be doing, who maybe possibly accessed the admin account because the teachers were stupid and just wrote the password in front of the students and did various things with that. I am telling you now that the smart kids are going to break this. Now, maybe it's not going to be the worst possible thing, and maybe it's going to take a bit of time to break it as much as, you can break ChatGPT in its current form. But 100% people are going to be doing things that are not intended by the staff and by the developers. And I cannot wait to see the local news reports of just crazy shit being done with this. So I hope you got a bit of insight into what is happening in my state of South Australia. I don't usually talk about my state because usually nothing happens here, but sometimes it does, and when it does, I don't know, maybe I'll talk about it, see if I feel like doing so. Anyway, if you liked the video, go like the video. If you also live in South Australia, let me know. I know there's at least one person that watches... No, 2 people. There are 2 people that watch this channel that do. If you also do, or maybe you know someone in South Australia, let me know. Anyway, if you liked the video, go like the video, go subscribe as well, and if you really like the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, check out the Patreon, subscribe to Daily Bearer Pay, linked in the description down below. That's gonna be it for me, and no one comes here. No one at all.